All right. I am now ready.
Was that Bane?
Yeah. Or Bane practicing. But
I
Nick
did
always,
I did Batman during Poetica.
because I'm that guy with the glasses on demo reel to teach you how to do the Bane voice.
Gotcha.
It's a mix of Sean Connery, Adam Sessler, and covering your mouth.
Adam Sessler.
Adam Sessler. Not Adam Sessler, Adam Sandler.
Okay,
You have to step your game up and do Bane because everyone could do Batman. As long as you don't mind waking up with a chalked up throat the next day.
Well, Mr. UPS man.
You
didn't respect my authority. I don't know if that got through.
I heard authority.
That got through. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Chick Flick Shuffle. Today, we review a movie about a secret assassination squad. No, excuse me, a secret all-female assassination squad that called Still Magnolia.
Precursor is Golden Girls.
It's what we all wanted Sucker Punch to be. It's a pretty cool name if it was used in a different context.
It's to show that women are as delicate as magnolias, but as tough as steel.
Not in this movie.
Unless you have super diabetes. Type 1.
Because, we'll get to it. We will get to the super diabetes that makes no sense. Like, look, just, you know, by now, we're black. We know a thing or two about diabetes and how diabetes works.
My mom has diabetes, thank you.
Yeah.
So, this is not it, white people.
Remember, this was made back in the year of when I was born.
This is something amazing about this movie, though. Like, before we even get to the meat of the movie, this movie takes place in the 1980s. I thought it took place in, like, the late 1960s. Because, look, you got all these country southern women with huge hair.
Gigantic hair.
With
looks like
black indentured servants in the first scene.
Wait, I didn't see a single black person in this home.
Yeah, there are no black people.
They are in Louisiana. There is not a single black person in this home.
They're affluent.
The black people were putting the party together. They were all doing the grunt work for the party.
The black people were in the 2012 version.
And the only black person that wasn't someone that just worked at the party was a guy that was dancing at the party who looked like...
I'm going to take over for Stray for this and say you didn't do the introductions.
I don't know. That's not my fault.
It is your fault.
You jumped right into this. I didn't get the chance to do it.
You were too busy looking for those pictures. I'm Gio.
What's my name?
Ziggy.
Thank you.
It's been a while for you, hasn't it?
It has.
And Stray could not join us this time because he is in Hong Kong taking care of business with the Triads. Probably. We don't know.
Waldo Geraldo Faldo is his name.
His character's name or his real name?
That's the name of the character.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. Someone dancing like Waldo over there. Ooh.
Are you happy?
That was so worth it. That was so worth it, guys.
You're happy?
I feel so much better.
Are you happy?
The only partner was in this movie, and I felt bad for watching it.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was her first. And it was like half an hour into the movie. I'm like, is that Dolly Parton? That is Dolly Parton.
And I was telling Gio earlier, this is our first Julia Roberts movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing it big time now.
Yeah.
Going for that ego.
So, still Magnolias. It's more than one, I guess. Shut up. Still Magnolias is the story of these. I don't even know what to call them because I want to call them friends.
They are
But
friends.
one's a daughter, so that's basically kind of doesn't count. But I don't know if she even has any other friends other than her mom's friends.
The daughter, it's like a close-knit group, pretty much.
Yeah.
With the new girl joining in.
That's right.
And now, who you would think would be the protagonist, but she's not, because her name is Julia Roberts.
Well, they bring it now in as if they're about to show you everything that happens through her point of view.
Yeah, but they don't.
And they don't. And, yeah, it's about this close-knit group that do stuff. And live.
It's a slice of life with super diabetes.
Let's get to the super diabetes.
Shit.
Let's just get the super diabetes out of the way.
They explain why. Well, not in the movie. They explain why, but the director, well, the writer.
Get it right. Get it right.
The reason they have super diabetes is because the writer's sister died from her diabetes.
Wait, look, this is what happens, okay? You have Malin, I guess that's her name, because the way it's spelled here is so black and ghetto.
And it's a white one.
Apostrophe Lynn.
Malin. Let's call him Malin.
Okay. And Shelby. And Shelby apparently has always had diabetes. Super diabetes.
Like I said, it's just because it's because the writer's sister died of diabetes, and someone told her, you should write your feelings into a screenplay. And so he over-exaggerated the diabetes.
Well, he didn't do a good job with those feelings, but I'll come back to that.
Right. See,
here's how it works with this super diabetes. In addition to her being born with the super diabetes, it's like the main scene here is it's her wedding, and she's acting like a jerk face because that's how women act during their weddings. At least that's what watching chick flicks for a year has taught me.
Yep.
And she has the most insane diabetes outbreak. Like, she starts transforming. She looks like she's about to turn into the Fly any second now.
They're like, get her some orange juice, get her some candy, blah, blah, blah.
Her brain starts de-aging. She's like a little kid, and all of a sudden.
Her mom has to force.
She doesn't want to drink orange juice. She doesn't want any candy. And this, you know what? This is before they even tell you that this is diabetes related. If you look at it, you don't know what's happening. And then you think, oh, I've got a piece of candy. Let me get some orange juice. I have a cookie. Like, are white people trying to cure diseases with cookies now?
They're trying to get her blood sugar up or something, but that doesn't...
She needs, like, insulin.
Yeah, she needs insulin, not freaking cookie or crap like that.
The way she was acting isn't how you act when your blood sugar is down. If anything, that's how you act if your blood sugar is too high.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but they're giving her sugary orange juice candy cookie snacks. So, I don't know. But that's how super diabetes works.
Well, actually, for diabetes type 1, don't they have an increased blood sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she...
Drinking orange juice isn't going to help her.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what she has, diabetes type 1.
Yeah.
Super diabetes type 1.
There you go.
They were just making it worse, is what we all learned here.
Yep.
Her blood sugar's too high. Orange juice and cookies.
Fixes everything.
So, that's kind of the meat of the story. Kind of. Like I said, there's something huge. There's a huge problem with this movie. We get to the other characters. Weezer, she's like the only person's name who I remember. So
even though it's spelled Ouiser.
Oh my god!
What?
Are you sure a black person didn't write this? I know why I said a black person making that.
Oh, it's still O-I-S-E. Weezer, and her last name is Budrow.
Yeah.
You can't have a first name and a fancy last name.
B-O-U. It's a French name.
She. Okay.
Budrow. Not Bordeaux. Oh. I thought it was Bordeaux.
No, she's grumpy and she's rich. Basically, all you need to know
and
about
she
her.
also has horrible taste in men because she's had 2 horrible husbands.
Isn't that the woman with the dog?
Yeah, the lady with his dog.
The dog.
Yeah, the shedding dog.
The loud noises.
The noises.
The blanket.
And birds in the trees.
Clary is the older looking woman, and she's pretty much the definitive smartass in this movie. And again, that's part of the major problem with this movie.
Then
She doesn't really have a character arc. She's just okay all the time. She buys a radio station in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and that's like
no, it's like that's like an hour later.
Yeah,
it's after.
It's not an hour.
Well, it's after the wedding.
It's after the first time, and there's like 20 of them in here.
And let's see. There's also Truby, who is Dolly Parton.
And her problem is she's in a loveless marriage. Why won't she get divorced? I don't know.
Because all her other friends are divorced.
Business. She's Dolly Parton. She has like her boobs are insured for like $2 million each. So I'm pretty sure she could find someone else. She doesn't really have a plot development except when Shelby dies, her husband's like, I feel emotions again. She's like, her only problem is that she married the laziest nigga on earth, who happened to be a white guy.
Wasn't he the one that was going around shooting the gun to clear away the birds?
What?
Wasn't Truby, wasn't her husband the one that was clearing away the birds with the gun?
That was Malin.
That's Malin's.
That was Malin's?
Yeah. Don't.
Her husband just sat in the bed and was under a car once.
Wow, I didn't notice that. I thought it was all her husband. Now it makes more sense.
It's all coming together now.
It's like, well, I never saw Malin's husband, so I was so confused.
No, he's too lazy to be on the screen.
Wait, so those two...
It's the ultimate payday.
Those 2 younger boys, whose kids were they? Malin's or Truth's?
Yes.
That was Malin's.
So she has 2 other kids, but she only focuses on...
She's the only one with children.
She has 2... No, Trudy had a kid. He rode a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, Malin only cares about her daughter and says screw you to her sons. Because you saw throughout the movie she only cared about her daughter.
True, but the sons weren't doing anything anyway.
Yeah, because they're men.
They're just there.
They're men.
Hey,
and men.
The songs were my favorite part of this movie.
The what?
They wrapped the car in condoms, so that's a thing for me.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one crazy honeymoon.
Yeah, apparently it was. He had a woman that has super diabetes.
Looks like it's time for your insulin injection. And then you have, well, we didn't talk about Anil, so let's talk about her, who pretty much embodies everything I hate about this movie. But she starts out as a broke drifter whose husband, or maybe not husband, stole her things and left her.
Yep. And it might not have been a legitimate marriage, and the cops are looking for him.
And that's everybody. All right.
Yeah. I love how Weezer had to get all in Alin's face, say, I know everyone in this town. Who are you?
All right, look. These white people are really nosy.
Okay, Batman. Okay.
So nosy.
Yeah.
And, another thing that we skipped, I should have mentioned that way at the beginning. The intro to this movie is so long.
You mean the wedding?
Yes. Like, the opening credits, I'm like, hey, let's jump into this movie already.
I wanted to turn the movie
Let's get into this.
wanted to turn the movie off. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't.
From the intro?
It's too old. I can't deal
It's
with it.
1989. It's as old as me.
It looks like 1960s.
Exactly.
That's the 80s. That's 80s. Then again, there's some stuff from the 80s that still look good compared to this movie.
That's true.
I saw this on Netflix. It still didn't look good.
It didn't help the movie at all.
One of the things that baffles me about this movie is that I don't know if it's supposed to be a depiction of white, like Southern white society, or a parody of Southern white society.
Did I not already tell you it's about a guy whose sister died of diabetes and someone told him?
It's not about a guy whose sister died from diabetes. Because that guy is not a character
He's the writer.
in this movie.
That's what the story is based off of.
It's not an adaptation of his life. He's just taken that and putting it into some work.
No, it was an adaptation. It was a short story.
So this is a biography, what you're telling me.
It started as a play. Which
it started off as a short story. Then it became a play. Then it became this movie 2 years after the play.
Oh, that makes sense.
So anyway, I don't know if this movie is supposed to depict Southern white society or it's supposed to be a parody of Southern white society. And this is why.
It's supposed to
There are
depict.
some things.
Because the guy who wrote the screenplay is from Louisiana.
Like how Shelby wanted an all-pink wedding. That's so typically white. I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's supposed to be the joke, because I'm too black to get it. Oh, it's not pink and pink, it's blush and bashful. Okay. And then, there is the whole, let's get her some juice, let's get her some candy thing. There's the, let's see, shooting guns into a tree to scare the birds. One of the women, Clarice, I got her name right, was sitting down talking about how white and pasty her family was. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't understand this movie. Is this movie by white people making fun of white people, or is this just white life?
It is white life.
It's white
in
life.
1989 in an all-white fictional city in northern Louisiana. Did I mention it was a fictional city?
Is it?
Did they ever say the name of the city? I didn't think they did.
It's a fictional city.
Oh.
Called Chinquapin.
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 Really?
I'm sorry, Chinquapin. No.
Really?
Chinquapin. Chinquapin.
Oh.
No. I'm going to talk about Anil here. Because Anil, pretty much, she represents my biggest issue in the movie. And that issue is...
The nerdy, insecure white chick? I'm sorry, not nerdy, the insecure white chick.
That there's no real character development in this movie.
There's barely any plot.
And they want you to feel emotions about these characters. Like, every development in this movie happens between time skips. So you never see any of it. And Anil is the perfect example of this. Because first, she's this geeky, shy hairdresser. Then she's a smoking, like, hookerish lady.
I know, after that first time skip, I didn't realize that was her until they said that was me. I was like, what?
But that was before that. And then after that, she becomes one of those big-headed Southern debutantes, like some evil Louisiana Stepford wife. They just brought her into the club. And then after that, she becomes, I don't want to
super evangelical Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, she becomes super religious. And you don't ever see this transformation. It just happens after time skip.
But you saw the guy that she would eventually fall for when he was at the wedding.
You saw them meet.
Yep.
And say 2 sentences to each other. And then they're together and after the time skip.
Yep.
And this affects, with the exception of Clarice, who again has no real arc, everyone else's storyline is just time skips. There's no progression.
No.
The first time
It's
skip,
like
I think,
reading
is
a
about
book. You're reading 10 pages of the book, and then you're skipping 60 pages to read another 10
the
pages.
first time skip, I think, is about a year. Yeah, that's the year. That's the year after they get married. A year after they get married, that's when she goes back, and that's on the festival, and we see Horace and Neil.
Let's take Shelby as an example, because Shelby is a very good example.
Julia Roberts.
Shelby, we don't know anything about Shelby, so we can't feel anything.
We know that her mom cared. No, we know her mom cared only about her and didn't care about her sons at all.
Well, Shelby has diabetes. So.
Super.
That's what we know about her.
I'm sorry.
Has a son and has diabetes. Because everything else, that's all in between the time skips.
Yeah.
We don't know anything. What do we know about the mom's personality?
Nothing.
She's a mom.
Her name is Malin.
She has a husband that shoots blanks into trees.
And when that doesn't work, crossbow with fireworks.
No, all these characters ends up being one-dimensional, with no progression at all, and without any progression, or without they cut out the journey. We just see destinations now, and there's no more investment into this movie.
True. It seems like the whole build-up is to her giving birth and then the kidney transplant and the death. I think that's the whole focus. And it leaves all the characters behind. The
ending, for me, is absolutely ruined because she has this big emotional explosion. And I don't care. I don't know these people at all. We haven't learned anything about them, just that this happened to them. Now, there's another problem with this. And that is, most of what's in this movie, outside of the Shelby plot, are quips. So, they're just joking around.
Well, remember, this is a comedy drama. That's what it's supposed to be anyway. So they gotta put in the comedy somewhere. Because Lord knows that romantic comedies have no comedy at all.
120 minutes of quips.
Yeah.
And then 15 minutes of actual
drama.
What actually happened.
Oh, they got what they wanted. Comedy and drama. It doesn't mean it has to be coherent.
And the comedy, well, I mean, I don't even want to call it comedy because it didn't make me laugh once. I admit some of it I thought was witty and clever, but it's kind of there. And it just, it's like the diabetes virus. It just infects this entire movie so that the drama part has no room to grow. That was a good analogy, Nick. You should eat a cookie. I think I will.
Watch out, you have super diabetes. That might not help.
Get some juice. Orange juice. Orange juice and candy.
I'm really surprised about the end of the movie that super diabetes wasn't somehow contagious. I would have made the ending of the movie so much better. You gave her your kidney, and then you got super diabetes. I don't know how that works. There's some diabetes strain. But the quips. And that just leads, because it's just quips and time skips.
That rhymes.
All these characters are one-dimensional. This movie is foul.
Yeah, it is.
It failed at everything.
But apparently the play was popular enough for 2 years later a movie to come out.
Oh, a 2 years later movie to come out? Is that what you just said?
The play came out in 1987. The movie came out in 1989.
Well, here's the thing about that. Because, plays and movies are vastly different media.
And it didn't reach Broadway until 2005.
What works in a play isn't always going to work in a movie, just like what works in a comic book or a book isn't always going to work in a movie. And they did not do well with this transition. Because, here's the thing. You just said it was a dramatic comedy. And in both those things, drama, comedy, you want to evoke emotion. That's the point. And they felt that on all accounts. But here's some nitpicks. Now that the major issue is out of the way, the girl that Anil, and not the girl that Anil, but yeah, he does look kind of like a girl with that pasty skin. The guy that Anil ends up with after speaking 2 sentences with.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he look like a vampire? It's just pasty skin.
He looked like a
black
creeper
hair.
to me.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks like a creeper. I'm like, and Anil looking the way she looked then, I'm like, these two get together and have a baby, it's gonna be a freak. Guess what happens at the end, Katie's?
Shelby too.
Shelby too. And it's gonna be a freak. Some of the time skips don't make sense to me. This one in particular, where it's Christmas, right? And then the mom's like, where's Shelby? Shelby couldn't be here? And then it's like, no, Shelby's at work. So then they show Shelby at work, and it's Halloween. How does that... It's like, what? Shelby's at work on Christmas on Halloween. Okay. I found Anil, like I said, Anil is the character I hate the most in this movie. Mostly because she transforms so much. She's like the character that's most affected by the time skips. By the end, she's just, why are you even here? She made a wreath out of baby Jesuses, so why?
That was Dolly Parton, wasn't it?
No. She
Yeah.
made it with that Dolly Parton's house that she was decorating. Anil, this is it, right here. This is the other thing I don't like about Anil. She reminds me so much of Luann from King of the Hill. In fact, even her voice and the delivery of her voice, I had to look it up and make sure that she wasn't the voice actor.
She isn't?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
No, but she is the chick with the eye patch from Kill Bill.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well,
She might have acting chops.
indeed.
But I think it's pretty obvious, at least to me, Luann had to have been based on this character. Like the delivery of how they say their lines, the fact that she's a hairdresser, the fact that she's super religious, it's just all Luann-ness. It is condensed live action Luann.
I think you're actually right.
I don't like like I say, I am nitpicking at this point, but I don't like Julia Roberts' haircut. When she gets her haircut.
When she get it short?
Yeah, that's what she got it short.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the big bushy hair, but when she got her haircut, there's a movie, and I forgot what this movie is. It was a famous movie. They recently remade it about a girl who gets a new roommate, and that roommate gets obsessed with her life and tries to steal her identity. She looks just like that girl.
I know what you're
Right.
talking about.
Alright. This just takes me out of the movie even more. And I wasn't even in the movie. You just look like this serial killer chick now. So when you get killed by diabetes, all I'm going to think is, well, at least there's another one of you out there in an apartment complex somewhere. Shelby 3. Can't wait for the sequel. I think some of the acting is just a little off.
A little.
A little is...
I think most of them do a good job with what they have, which isn't a lot.
I didn't find these southern accents quite believable myself.
There's a southern person in the north.
Except for Dolly. But that's Dolly.
With
Yeah,
southern
that's Dolly
accents,
Parton.
I don't even know anymore because, like, I live here. We live in Montgomery, Alabama. The only southern accents I ever hear are from white people.
Yep.
Now I don't
Right.
hang out much, so I really can't tell. They're not even. There's a very specific group of white people that speak this way. Like we do. I do have white people around me that I'm friends with, and they don't have southern accents like this. And I don't really understand why some white people in Alabama do have their southern accent, and why some don't.
Hmm.
Whatever. The point is, I can't judge what a Southern accent sounds like because the white people I hang out with don't sound like that.
Yep.
I mean, it all does sound really bad, but it sounds Paula Deen bad. And apparently, Paula Deen's accent is real. Apparently.
Apparently.
And the baby, getting back to the baby, when he grows up, and I know you guys won't get this reference, but he looks like a child from Village of the Damned.
He was born from super diabetes.
True.
He was born, Village of the Damned could be a sequel, a direct sequel, and the reason those children have psychic powers is because of super diabetes. But, that's all I have to, bitch about in this movie. Is there anything you guys would like to bitch about?
Nope, you pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, you
that
pretty
I
much
was bitch about.
Especially,
Mephisticus would not like to smash anyone in this movie.
I don't know. Fisticuffs has some pretty off taste sometimes. He might have a thing for Sally Field we don't know about.
hey, I actually like Sally Field. Her expressions in this movie were very...
When I was talking about some of the acting being iffy, most of that was Sally Field.
Really? You thought so?
Yeah.
I thought Sally Field was probably the best. I thought Sally Field was the best.
Sally Field was Forrest Gump's mom.
Yeah, true.
And Aunt May in the last Spider-Man movie.
That's Sally Field.
Let me reenact this for you, Ziggy. Open your eyes. 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 Open your
I thought she said mouth.
I didn't hear mouth. I heard
she
eyes.
said no. She said mouth.
I wanted to show her that picture.
Oh, I thought you were talking about for the.
Like that for real.
I thought you were talking about for.
Open them.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about trying to get her to drink the orange juice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too.
I was talking about when she was in the hospital.
Oh.
Like, right before she died.
Well, it's a slight exaggeration in that impersonation there.
It's a very slight.
It's very slight.
It is the slightest exaggeration I have ever done in my life.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of Mrs. Doubtfire. But I like Sally Field myself.
I'm gonna let you start and rate it, Ziggy.
Oh well, I mean, it's just like I was saying before. I mean, the main problem I had with this movie is that the whole focus was building up to this diabetes or the super diabetes, and the eventual inevitable death of this woman. I mean, just as you said, all the other. It was inevitable. It was coming.
It wasn't inevitable. She had type 1 diabetes and they kept giving her orange juice.
Death was coming. It was coming.
Because she has super diabetes.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
But anyway, I mean, I really wasn't fascinated with this movie. By the end, I had no idea what to take from it. I mean, if I had to give it a rating, probably a 2 out of 5. But only because I like Sally Field, though.
All right, Gio.
I got nothing. This is my usual 2 for this movie. I did not like it. I was not looking forward to it. It was. I didn't see any comedy in this.
I saw
comedy.
There were bits and pieces.
I kind of laughed at that point at the end when she was, and what was her name? Clary trying to get Malin to punch Weezer.
Right.
That kind of made me laugh. But other than that, I don't like this movie.
Question to you. Did you like this movie better than Hard Candy?
Oh, I gotta think deep for this. Yes. Because it was, at least I got a laugh, a chuckle or two out of this movie, and Hard Candy was boring as all hell. I'd rather take a bad movie that makes me chuckle than a bad movie that's boring.
Well, it's down to me now. And, yes, what did you think of this movie? Well, I did kind of eat up this whole podcast with what I thought of this movie. Like the clips ate up this whole movie with what it thought of this movie. Edit. I'd give it a 1.5 out of 5. Originally I was thinking about giving it a 2, but the more I talk about it, the more I don't like this movie. And like I said, originally I was going to say that I thought the script was well written. And like I said, most of the acting is on point. Like most of the technical aspects of the movie is decent or better. But the script isn't good. The transition from play to movie sucks. It's too many quips, and there's no content. It's like playing a first-person shooter. And you have a gun, and you have bullets, and nothing to shoot at. Infinite ammo, nothing to shoot at. You don't walk from one place to another. You teleport to levels after you shoot at the air for 10 minutes. That's what just happened to me watching this movie. It's a 1.5. It might be the definitive 1.5. I may compare every movie that I think is either between a 1 or a 2 by whether it's better or worse than this movie. So yeah, that's still Magnolias. It's a pretty big chick flick for us. Like I said, first Julia Roberts movie. It's was a pretty important chick flick movie back in its day. And you guys know this. I chose to dig a little older, trying to get some of the classics out of the way. And next time, I do believe we will be reviewing Little Women. Thank you for joining us. Stray, if you're listening to this, I wanted to tell you, I don't even want to tell you, I wanted to remind you, they canceled Hellblazer.
You could have listened to this.
They canceled it. And you know why they canceled it? Me.
There are 2 sequels to Little Women.
Enjoy that. Enjoy crying in your emo shed. I'm coming for all your favorite comic books. I'm canceling all of them. Little Depressed Boy's next. McFisticuffs, if you're listening to this, I'm going to send you so much Sally Field prawn now.
He's going to take pictures of Sally Field's head. Just paste them. It might not even be a white woman's body. It'll be a black woman's body.
I'm going to find a black Sally Field look-alike. Because that's the only way her name makes sense. Her last name is Eatonton. Spelled E-A-T. What? Alright. Like I said, thanks for listening. So long, everybody. Wave.
I'm waving as hard as I can.
Bye.